And welcome to the BBC News at 10 After Stories. 3 teenagers jailed. A sentence for North South victims' parents who fear consequences after multiple women and people particularly being raped by teenagers being jailed. Court of Justice also sort of program attacks across Kyiv have been happening as bodies 19 people have been reported dead or have related with Catherine Fair, also on tonight's program.
Oh, maybe you can actually take a mask
and then also on tonight's program, says the committee apologises to people that lost children and a lot of people lost mothers after the inquiry.
Took off the shackles there of pressure. So bring it up. With the Court 18 crowd on their feet, ferocious Ferry then attacked the powerful Finn serve midway through the third. Fantastic return. Break 5, Ferry was soon serving.
Awesome. Pubs will be allowed to open past 5 a.m. so fans can enjoy England's World Cup round 16 game against Croatia. Also on tonight's programme for the World Cup, Spain progress to the quarterfinals. Portugal play Croatia, and at Wimbledon, 3 British people all play. On the programme.
Game 9, Ferry was on match point for a career-defining performance. The crowd rise as one. Look at the reaction. Look at what it means. The biggest match of both men's careers. And it's gone to the wild-carded Brit, Arthur Ferry. He's in the third round of the major.
Put BBC One up for football song. You put BBC One up for football song now. And Croatia. Welcome to this programme. 3 teenagers have now been jailed. This is voice behind bars. A joke about teenagers raped 2 girls in Hampshire. The girls who were raped filmed the whole thing as video footage. Because of women, millions of women across the UK all year round get raped by men. We had this report. Critical reporter Catherine Jones has a story for us.
Well, number 51 is set to the good, and after a break late on in the second, Berrettini had a chance to serve for a 2-set lead.
Yeah, you're right. It's not very big, this evening. It's not even upstairs. They can have to see the whole thing.
Government confirms £80 fine for kids who miss school after university semester.
Oh, we're going to find them.
That's what it says.
Well, it's going to be a bit decent when the excuse of the sick that day. I'm not even going to have to say that.
This is Miss Big Style. Let's hope they get stuffed tonight and that fucking wanker retires.
What do you want?
of one of the victims I've spoken to said this is just as they've been desperately waiting for. Now, originally, the boys who were 14 years old at the time were given youth rehabilitation orders, meaning they're spared jail time. Of course, children are treated differently in courts. They only go to jail as a last resort. And the judge who gave that original sentence, Judge Rowland, didn't believe their crimes met the custody threshold, which raised serious concerns and questions around what would. Well, today, the judge here at the Court of Appeal believed they must serve time, sentencing them to 4 years. She said the trial judge failed to take into account the age and vulnerabilities of the victims and the fact that these were repeat offences. Now, the youngest defendant, who was 13 at the time, has not had his sentence changed because he encouraged one of the attacks. He didn't physically harm the girls. Well, one of the victims today shared how she has tried to take her own life since her attack, and earlier the lawyer representing her described the turmoil she and her family have been through.
It left us questioning whether the criminal justice system really serves victims. Today's judgment cannot erase what our daughter has suffered, but it does acknowledge the seriousness of these offences. Yesterday, we heard submissions in court suggesting one of the convicted rapists had become a pariah because of media coverage which had, quote, exacerbated his punishment, end quote. As Giselle Pellico said, shame must change sides. He is not the victim.
Well, I spoke to the parents of that girl. They told me that sentencing guidelines for children must be reviewed. Now, one important change today is those boys who are now 15 years old will have restraining orders for the rest of their lives, meaning these girls will never have to face them again.
We are, having spoken to the 3 children and given them short oral reasons for our decision and the decisions themselves, we are now handing a full written judgment down, and we are accompanying that full written judgment with a written press summary, which is available to everybody. The neutral case citation number is 2026 EWCA CRIM 845. The judgment will be put on the National Archives in the normal way. We propose to give a short oral summary of that judgment now. We remind everybody of the reporting restrictions which are in place. This was a difficult sentencing exercise, given the number and seriousness of the offences, but also the ages and vulnerabilities of very young children. The judge carried out a careful sentencing exercise in accordance with the statutory principles and the sentencing guidelines that he was required to follow. However, we decided that the non-custodial sentences which were imposed by the judge on X and Y were unduly lenient. X was convicted of an offence of rape committed against C1 in a first incident, and a further offence of rape against C2 in a second incident. Y was convicted of 3 offences of rape against each complainant in each incident, 6 rapes in all. Both X and Y were also to be sentenced for their part in filming these offences. Each incident involving rape by more than one offender was extremely serious, but the fact that they repeated their behaviour after the first incident and did it again to a different person in the second incident is the crucial feature of these cases. It rendered a significant sentence of detention for X and Y unavoidable. Z, on the other hand, was involved only in the second incident and was convicted of 1 offence of rape by encouraging Y to commit the offence against C2. He is younger than X and Y, and in his case, the judge's sentence was not unduly lenient, and the Attorney General's application in his case has been dismissed.
Okay.
We're going to give a quick summary of the facts and the reasons. Following a 29-day trial in the Crown Court at Southampton, the 3 offenders, X, Y and Z, were convicted of rape and other sexual offending that had taken place in Fordingbridge, Hampshire, against 2 separate complainants, C1 and C2, on 2 separate occasions. The first incident occurred on the 26th of November 2024 and involved X and Y only. The second incident.
Next, people across Ukraine feeling awful. There's attacks, drone missiles attacks across the city of Kyiv, the most populous city in Ukraine, because 19 people were injured in these attacks. Buildings, roads are being destroyed.
After a long and terrifying night in Kiev, search and rescue teams are hard at work across the city. In the confined space of what used to be her home, a woman is carried out of the shattered ruin on a stretcher. This was an attack on the places where ordinary Ukrainians live. Blocks of flats under bombardment. People emerged from the shelters this morning to find out who and what they'd lost.
Это невозможно было, ребята, это такой звук.
It was unimaginable, says this woman. One explosion after another. They wanted to kill people. That was their only goal.
Ты останешься под завалами.
There's nothing left in our apartment, says this survivor. Everything we had is gone, and we have nowhere to go. Smoke filled the sky above Kiev this morning. Ukraine's Air Force described the array of Russian armaments that had been unleashed on the city. Cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, anti-ship missiles, and hundreds of drones. And as they fought the fires in Kiev, the Kremlin delivered its own assessment of its night's work.
Утром сегодня во время ежедневного доклада
The strikes launched by Russia's armed forces were, said spokesman Dmitry Peskov, exclusively against military or military-linked targets. And, he said, they were retaliatory.
Российской Федерации по
Ukraine has had some success winning back territory from the Russian invaders in the last few weeks, and it's also carried out a series of successful drone strikes on oil refineries deep inside Russia, which have caused fuel shortages. So Ukraine's President Zelensky had warned his people to expect a Russian response. But last night's raids have exposed again Ukraine's depleted missile defense systems. And in one devastated neighborhood of Kiev this evening, the president pleaded with his allies to supply more of these sophisticated interceptor weapons which will stop ballistic missiles from hitting civilian areas.
On the one hand, there is significant support, and we are grateful for it. But on the other hand, look, today we are fighting, and we are fighting largely on our own. The casualties are exclusively Ukrainian. What we need from our partners is simply for them to do what they have already agreed to do. We are not even asking for more. We just want them to fulfill what has already been agreed, signed, or promised. Yes, today we are seeing those steps slow down. We are pressing our partners and will continue pressing them to provide anti-ballistic capabilities and other assistance. 74 missiles were launched in a single night, just tonight. Ballistic and cruise missiles. Listen, you cannot shoot down cruise missiles with counter-drone systems. They are still intercepted by air defense systems. Of course, we have a large number of different air defense systems capable of intercepting cruise missiles. But ballistic missiles can only be intercepted by Patriot systems.
The next night, Keir Starmer, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has apologised to people that lost lots of children and lost wives and mothers across after an inquiry into a university hospital in Nottingham last week. Be in a sec. Alright, Dad.
The shame is not yours. The words of Keir Starmer today as he
The Second World War.
of cases, the women were forced to give up their babies because they were unmarried. In a moment, I'll be talking to campaigner Jan Doyle, who, aged 16, had her baby son taken from her. But first, this report from Duncan Kennedy.
It's taken these women half
They do this every time.
and sense of self across their lives has been affected. To the fathers who are denied a voice, excluded from decisions, or separated from their children. Historic adoption practices in England.
So, what we're going to do about these, we're going to have to put them in the car, aren't we?
They are here with us in the gallery today, and I had the chance to talk with them privately. They are the most remarkable women, and I know the whole house will want to join me in paying tribute to the extraordinary courage with which they've shared their harrowing testimonies and fought for the truth time and time again. I have to confess, as I said to them this morning, I found it hard to read the testimonies and to hear their stories. I found it particularly hard as a dad. How much harder it must have been for them to go through that, to set out their testimonies and tell their stories over and over again. As they said to me this morning, something which is so intensely private, having to be public, and the courage and resilience they have shown, and others alongside them, is absolutely incredible, and I want to mark that. Mr. Speaker, what happened to them and to tens of thousands of mothers, children and families should never have happened. It is a stain on our history. Mothers, many young, vulnerable, or without support, were coerced, bullied, or misled into feeling that they had no choice but to have their children taken away from them. What a thing to do. Mr. Speaker, these were not isolated or accidental acts. They were practices embedded within systems across local authorities, across voluntary and faith-based institutions, and in health and social care services, including parts of what is now the NHS. All institutions that operated with power over people's lives, yet they did so without compassion, without consent, and without dignity or proper safeguards. Mr. Speaker, these practices were particularly prevalent between 1949 and 1976, but also extended beyond those years. In some cases, women, including those placed in mother and baby homes and other institutional settings, were cut off from their families, relationships, education and employment, and subjected to harsh and isolated conditions. Some experienced treatment that amounted to exploitation and abuse. Mr. Speaker, many were made to feel ashamed, and that came through very, very powerfully in the discussion. Silence and unworthy of care or dignity. Children grew up believing that they were unwanted. Young mothers were told that they were immoral, that their babies would be better off without them. And again, as they told me this morning, that lasts a lifetime and has a huge impact. Anne Lloyd Keane here in the gallery, and of course formerly of this house, described to the Education Committee how she was stitched without anaesthetic and said, and I quote, that she was told, "You will remember the pain because you've been a bad girl." Mr. Speaker, many of those harmed in this way feel a gut-wrenching sense of shame, and Anne and others have said that stayed with her and that she still feels it today. And I know that this apology will not be able to lift that completely. It will help a little, I hope, but it won't lift it completely. And today I say to Anne, to everyone here in the gallery with us, to all those impacted and affected, wherever they are in the country, many, many thousands of them, including some who still have not been able to speak about what happened to them to this day. And I hope that this statement, this apology, perhaps gives some of them the confidence to speak about what happened to them, because it will help in a small way. But I say this, the shame is not yours. The shame was never yours. The shame is ours. And I say that on behalf of the whole country. I say it to every single person impacted. We are deeply and profoundly sorry. To the mothers who were told they were unfit, who were prevented from caring for the children they desperately wanted to help and to keep, and who've carried this loss for decades. To those who were not given the information they needed to provide informed consent, who faced pressure or coercion, and to experience practices that were unethical. To the sons and daughters, the children who are now adults, who through pressure and coercion within these systems were taken from their families, denied their identity, their history, and sometimes their safety. To those who grew up believing that they were unwanted, some of whom were even told directly that they were second class. To those who've carried a burden of loss, confusion and stigma, or who
Anyone that I can tolerate. Do you remember who the only a Scouser I can tolerate is, Keith? Keith?
Yeah.
How many Scousers do you know that
The
can't
excitement.
What?
How many Scousers do you... Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. I see you. Look at me.
Being able to watch their first full England match has got these kids in the spirit. But will they be allowed to watch the next game at 1 AM on a school night?
I'm going to go to bed at 6 o'clock, set an alarm for 1, and just wake up and watch the match then.
Have you talked this through with your parents?
Yes.
And they're up for it?
Yeah. You're saying that I won't be able to get sleep, but God, and I'm ready for it.
Do you think all kids should be allowed to stay up and watch?
Well, they should do if they want, if they like the football.
Why not?
It's one once in a lifetime opportunity, really. It's the biggest World Cup there's ever been. Knockout match, so I feel like they should.
They make a strong case, and they've got the backing of England's head coach.
Write an excuse for school and let them watch football. Come on, there's so much school to go to, but World Cup is every 4 years. Let them watch. There will be a big match on in 4 days, and we need the support of everyone, and especially of the children.
It's a dilemma facing many families back home. Up to now, Harry's only been allowed to watch the highlights of the late games. Sunday night, what's your plan?
Eat some sweets, have some Coke, and then go to bed after the game. So, yeah.
And then go to school?
Yeah, tired.
And Harry's dad told me it's impossible to say no.
I think Harry will want to watch it, so I think it's one of those, the World Cup's only every 4 years.
Despite the late kickoffs, football fever has reached the classroom, but teachers are fully expecting a slower start to next week.
We know that they're going to be keen to watch, so we won't expect too much from them on Monday, I don't think. We'll see how they get on.
In the end, parents will make the call, and whatever happens, school will still kick off at the usual time. Stacey Foster, ITV News, Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, there's some good news for those who plan to watch the game down the pub. Our North of England reporter Jonathan Brown is in Leeds for us. And Jonathan, rules are being relaxed so that pubs can stay open all night.
Yeah, that's right. If Harry Kane wasn't already considered an England hero, he certainly is now among people running places like this. That's because for every England World Cup game so far, this suburban beer garden and pub in North Leeds has welcomed around 800 fans. Now, all of those games have been kick-offs at 5, 9 or 10 p.m, but as we've already heard, the game against Mexico in the round of 16 doesn't kick off until 1 a.m. on Monday morning. What that had meant was that venues like this effectively had to apply to their local council for special permission to be able to open after 2 a.m. If that wasn't granted, they'd close at 2 and potentially have to kick out fans at half-time. Now, the government earlier today urged local councils to step in and help, but since then they've stepped in themselves. The Home Secretary herself has used special powers to extend licensing hours for events of national significance. Now, that means that pubs like this will be able to open until 5 a.m. on Monday morning, regardless of whether they've applied to their councils. That's something that the British Beer and Pub Association has described as a much-needed boost.
Nothing.
And I wonder if it on the big screen news today looked just when the game kicks off at midnight in Portugal, it will be midnight in Portugal and it will be the 1 year anniversary of the death of the justice.
Well, we've got a Jota statue.
Finally. It is the wedding. It is the wedding everyone is talking about. Taylor Swift and Travis Scott are set to get married. The rumour is on. They could get married in New York, Madison Square Garden. That's a rumour.
Well, yeah, because if they're not, they're doing a whole lot of work just to put people,
I'm coming.
So is this really Taylor Swift's wedding venue? So is this really Taylor Swift's wedding venue, or is everybody just falling for the world's biggest decoy?
I don't know that anybody's ever done it, so she'd be the first one. I was actually at the Eras Tour concert where her and Travis met, so I just think it's really special.
If you happen to be getting married at Madison Square Garden, you will be staying inside and you will be staying cool.
Nothing has been confirmed, but speculation has gone into overdrive.
It's the love story that has everyone talking. Pop icon Taylor Swift and NFL star Travis Kelce got engaged last summer in the backyard of his Kansas City home. And since then, fans have been desperate to find out everything they can about the wedding. When, where, how much will it cost, who is invited, and what will Taylor wear? Over the next 10 minutes, we'll bring you everything we know and don't know about the wedding of Taylor and Travis. First, let's be clear, there is a lot we don't know. First then, the where. There are a lot of hints and clues driving speculation, all focused on one venue, Madison Square Garden. It's one of the most iconic venues in America. New York City's 22,000-seat arena is typically used for large concerts and home to the New York Knicks basketball team. So why do people think there's going to be a wedding there? Our reporter Sakshi Venkatraman can explain.
I'm in New York's Madison Square Garden, where rumors say that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce could be getting married. Nothing has been confirmed, but speculation has gone into overdrive after city officials said someone applied to close the roads around the arena from 2nd to 4th July. The New York Times also reports that several Kansas City Chiefs players have booked hotels around the arena, and the Amtrak police have been informed to prepare for a Swift wedding in the upcoming holiday weekend.
With the event likely to draw crowds of fans known as Swifties, the authorities have had to be involved in planning. Take a listen to the New York Police Department and the Mayor of New York.
In a briefing about major events happening this weekend in New York City, I would be remiss not to mention an event that we are tracking at Madison Square Garden on Friday night. The NYPD will, of course, have a detail in place.
My recommendation to all New Yorkers is to stay inside and stay cool. And if you happen to be getting married at Madison Square Garden, you will be staying inside and you will be staying cool. And I think it's a good example to set for the city at large.
Well, our correspondent Neda Tawfik is outside Madison Square Garden for us. Hi, Neda. So are all signs pointing to it happening on Friday night in that stadium behind you?
I can tell you we're already seeing a police presence. I passed numerous police who were already kind of getting ready for road talks. You see these barricades out behind me. 31st Street is where there is a VIP entrance, and that's where we believe guests will ultimately kind of get out their cars and go into the space. There's also a tent that's being erected on that street for guests. So you can imagine just how much attention there is on this area. We have seen things with workers having Taylor Swift on their polos. We have seen deliveries that show lobster being delivered, as well as sets that say garden party with some trees and rumors of a castle being erected inside. All signs pointing to it happening, Anita, and we'll find out soon because there's supposed to be rehearsal dinners tonight at 6 p.m.
Yes, so Neda, that's all the intel from outside and inside. This must all be very expensive. Any ideas on cost?
Well, look, we know that they got a permit to close down certain streets, which is very normal, a permit from the mayor's office. And with that, they'll kind of pay for around 30 police officers just on that permit, I'm told. Of course, they will need more than 100 more police officers alongside that permit to help kind of secure the area and the event. Madison Square Garden itself will take care of the security inside and the building. So we've already had some New York lawmakers suggesting that it will be something that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift should pay for, that it could be up to $65,000 a day in security costs. But again, none of that confirmed, just kind of looking at how much those sorts of things would cost in New York. But, it was interesting to see that Taylor Swift's publicist put out a note talking about the tens of millions they've donated to charities, including in New York City, ahead of this wedding. So clearly trying to get ahead of that narrative. And of course, she has more than enough money to pay for any costs needed to make sure that this is the wedding of her dreams.
So the next question is, in the right place? Can a stadium really be turned into...
I'm coming now.
Jesus. Oh no. What in his knackers?
What?
He might not jump next time.
Come on, Nikki.
So if I go for a wee first.
Yeah, we're turning everything out yourself. You wanted to go in church.
Brunson went
Zimmer Brunt through mid-wicket. Oh, the timing is immaculate. Clerk to Zimmer Brunt, whipping the ball away. Square into the leg side. It goes up for 4.
Makes you wonder why they decide in their
Stepping into the offside, sweeping backwards of square, away for 4 runs. Comes in for her second, runs away from us, and a ramp over the keeper's left shoulder.
What do you say? See in the mirror so you can
And
see
they
the
continue to accelerate with a ramp over the keeper.
No, I meant you two could see it. You and Mum can actually see him.
Towards deep mid-wicket, it's another boundary. Gap between long on deep mid-wicket. She's found it perfectly and she's brought up her half century. 53 on 35 balls. Raises her bat to this open crowd who are up on their feet, cheering, applauding the England captain and her contribution so far. Keeper standing up here, heaved into the leg side again. 2 fielders in the deep, picking the spot brilliantly for 4.
And space it up.
The front goes high, this is massive! 6 runs! Almost into the crowd. It's a huge crowd here at the Oval.
I'm not gay, at least I'm
Well, from being dampened early on, the crowd are getting into party mode, but England know they need more of this. The front makes some room, goes leg side once again and finds the boundary 4 more.
It's hard if you're near your side.
Again, points high, this has gone sky high, could be out, getting underneath it, Prince takes the catch. Well, Lava does get the wicket, breaks the stand, but it's been an almighty innings from the captain on her return to the side.
There.
Aye.
Come on. You need to turn off the mirror light and the toilet bathroom. Bathroom. What are you doing? Have you finished it, Keith?
I have finished, brat.
Come on then.
Because I'm a parent.
You know you take 60 years, old people will get that. Well, they'll finish well before you.
Shut up.
At least I've got spike creativity.
Have you?
Nicely tackled away by Knight, and that's going to be a chase from Malaba, and it's going to be a chase that she will not win. Swept very hard, and it goes fizzing out to the boundary 4.
Brilliant from Heather Knight.
Battered back down the ground. That will go for 4. Coming Troyon can't get there. She put in the full dive. That was belted by Heather Knight. Kaka in again here. Knight goes aerial leg side. Now Prince is in the game. Issues are going over ahead. It's over for 6. Oh, the crowd getting to their feet. Arms shoot into the air in celebration, and it also brings up Heather Knight's 50. She's starting to fly, and she's looking to take this crowd with her. 52 on 42 balls. She goes over extra cover. It's a wonderful shot. Couple of bounces. Will it be cut off? No. Another 4, and the Oval starting to rock in appreciation of Heather Knight. Lava is in. She uses her feet up and over extra cover, but no, doesn't get enough on it. Is caught by Laura Wolfart on the edge of the circle. So 1 wicket becomes 2, and there will be 2 batters out there now, albeit 2 big hitters. But South Africa have got the set batters out, and Knight departs for 58. England 157 for 5.
So England will face Australia at Lords in the T20 World Cup final.
You said you'd done it.
I had done it.
Come on then. Come on, please.
Alright, Dad, I know. And Spain booked their place in 2016. I have a lovely night. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.